Hello everyone, we are doing section 111, which deals with functions and distributing. Some vocab words for my unit are functions. The definition for function is a line that can be represented by an equation that passes the vertical line test. In other words, it means that the function does not have two x values for one y value. Foiling, first, outer, inner, last, is a way to remember how to distribute variables or numbers to simplify the equation. Distributive property is a way to simplify variables or numbers. Function machines are a way to represent functions. Other terms you might need to know are variable, which is an unknown number, and vertical line test, which, as I said before, was making sure that there are not two x values for one y value. My first problem is 1, 4. The function for the equation is 1 over x minus 2. The question of the first one is, what is f of 4? To do this, you would plug in 4, because that's your x value, into the x of the equation. So as you can see right here, it would end up being 1 over 4 minus 2, which you would simplify to 1 over 2. And you can represent the answer by f of 4 equals 1 over 2. My steps where you plug in the 4 for x and you solve. Now for b, what can f of x be to make f of x 1? So to figure this out, you would have to realize what the bottom would be. So the bottom would have to end up being 1. So what I did in my head was x minus 2 equals 1. So then you would have to solve. So you'd add 2 to both sides. So then you would end up getting f equals 3, or you can represent the answer by f of 3 equals 1. 1, 5. Solve for the following functions. The function for this problem is f of x equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. For number A, I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. F of 3 equals what? So again, to do this, you would plug in 3 for all of your x values. So it'd end up being 3 squared plus 2 times 3 plus 1. So it'd be 9 plus 6 plus 1 equals 16. You can write the answer as f of 3 equals 16. For B, f of negative 4. Again, you would plug in the minus values into where the x would be, or the minus 4 into where the x would be. So it'd be minus 4 squared plus 2 times minus 4 plus 1. Or 16 minus 8 plus 1, or f of negative 4 equals 9. Now for the last one, I don't know if you can see right there, if negative 22.872 is put into the problem, for this one, you're going to need a calculator. So you would plug in minus 22.872 squared, and then you would plug in the x, you'd plug in minus 22.872 to where your x would be, so you get approximately 523.1284 minus 45.744 plus 1, which would approximately equal to 478.384. So you can write this answer as f of negative 22.872 equals approximately 478.384. Now, on to 1.7, which is my third problem. It says graph the following functions. For my example, I use d, which is right here. D is y, or f of x, equals x squared. So again, you just plug in the value. So I plugged in a few values. I went from minus 3 to 3, so you can definitely see the parabolic curve. And I don't know if you can see, but the parabola is the one I represented. So for all the others, you could just plug them into your graphing calculator, or you could do it manually. You get, as you can see here, this one goes to this one. 3x plus 2y equals 6 is this one. 3/5 x plus 1 is that one. And I graphed them all on the same graph, even though it's a little messy, so you guys could see the difference between all the lines and how they compare to each other. 19a is the problem 4 in parentheses x minus 1 minus 2 in parentheses 3x plus 5 equals minus 3x minus 1. If you distribute out your values, you get 4x minus 4 minus 6x minus 10 equals minus 3x minus 1. Then you can combine your like terms and you can subtract from each side of the equation to make it equal. So then you end up getting x equals 13. For these kinds of problems, you'll want to distribute, combine like terms, and then solve the finishing equation. For B, 3x minus 5 equals 2.5x plus 3 minus x minus 4. Now for the minus right here, you're going to want to treat the minus as if it was negative 1 and change the signs of the x and the minus 4 in the parentheses. So you end up getting 3x minus 5 equals 2.5x plus 3 minus x plus 4. Or 3x equals 2.5x minus x plus 3 plus 5 plus 4. Or 3x plus 1.5x plus 12. 3x equals 1.5x plus 12. And then you can subtract 1.5 from each side, so you get 1.5x equals 12. And if you divide from 1.5 from each side, you get x equals 8. Now, for 110, you're going to need to know FOIL, which is first, outer, inner, last. It's a way to distribute. So for letter A, you'd multiply 5m and m, 5m and 2, minus 1 and m, and minus 1 and 2 to get your answer, and then combine like terms, as I've done right here. So your answer ends up being 5m squared plus 9m minus 2. For B, it's the same thing. You FOIL. So you go the 6 times the 2, the 6 times the x, the minus x times the 2, and the minus x times the x. You end up getting 12 plus 6x minus 2x minus x squared. Or you have to flip the order because you have to put a highest exponents first. X squared plus 4x plus 12. As Mr. Kisner said, that would be politically incorrect, like saying Hillary Clinton would be a bad president. C, you'd have to FOIL again. Same thing. You multiply the 5x, the 5x, the 5x, and the minus y and the 5x, and the minus y and the minus y. You end up getting 25x squared plus minus 5xy minus 5x plus y squared is 25x squared minus 10xy plus y squared. Now for this one, you don't FOIL because there's not 2 in each. You just simply distribute. So it would be 3x times 2x, 3x minus 5 times minus 5y, and 3x plus 4. For this one, you'd end up getting 6x squared minus 15xy plus 12. Now that we're done with our unit 111, let's go over what we've learned. We've learned how to FOIL first, outer, inner, last, which is a way of distributing if you have 2 terms by 2 terms. Distributing, which is applying the outside value into the inside value of parentheses to acquire a simplified answer. We learned how to graph an equation / function. You just plug in your number and get whatever your number is, and then plug it in on your graph and make a function. We learned how to plug in and solve functions on 1-5 when we plugged in whatever f of x, whatever that equals. You just plug that into x and see what value you get out. Today, you have learned the vocab, if you did not already know before. Functions, which is an equation, a line that can be represented by an equation that has no 2x values for one y value. You learned how to FOIL, which is first, outer, inner, last. You learned the distributive property, the function machines, how those can be applied. You also learned variable, if you didn't know what that means, and the vertical line test, which is a way to test to see if what you graphed / did was really a function. The end. Now that you have learned this unit, this can help you with anything with functions in the future. That could be anything with normal functions, anything where you need to plug in functions, anything where your graph is a function. This unit can definitely help with that. And any type of equation with 2 units by 2 units, right here and right here, or FOIL. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Have a nice day.